WrestleMania season. Going back to last year's WrestleMania, we've been told one thing, that Cody Rhodes needs to finish the story. Last night on Friday Night SmackDown, Cody Rhodes confronted Roman Reigns, and after several instances, even before we got into Friday night, pointing to Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, telling everybody at the Royal Rumble post-show press conference he's going after Roman Reigns, telling Seth Rollins he'd think about it because he has Roman Reigns on the mind. We get to Friday night and Cody Rhodes, with an exclamation point, says, "I'm coming for your title. I'm coming to take everything away from you. I want the title that I have dreamed of holding since my father held it and had it taken away from him." Little did we know how symbolic that Cody Rhodes promo was last night. In comes The Rock and basically takes away Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania main event, just like they did, taking away the title from Dusty Rhodes. WWE has fumbled the ball on one of the easiest creative decisions of the modern era. And they are rightfully so receiving backlash for it because it's wrong. And the more you read about it, a lot of people came on YouTube Live, including myself, to voice our displeasure with what we saw last night. But that was just on the surface level. When you really start to uncover what is going on here, my God, man, this shit is fucking slimy. It is disgusting. It is everything that we hate about professional wrestling. The real reason why The Rock and Roman Reigns is happening this year at WrestleMania 40, why they decided to pivot away from Cody Rhodes, and what The Rock is doing internally to make sure this match happens in Philadelphia. We're going to go over it today right here on Off the Script. I want to start with this. There are mixed beliefs in WWE about why The Rock pushed for Roman Reigns' match at WrestleMania 40. PW Insider confirmed Dave Meltzer's report about the plans being changed from Cody Rhodes to Roman Reigns, right? Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, to Roman Reigns and The Rock. Apparently, it was a strong push by Dwayne Johnson that was backed by TKO executives. Doesn't sound like Triple H had much of a say in this matter now. It's great. Everybody's calling for Triple H's termination because of what he supposedly knows in the Vince McMahon sex trafficking allegations. And now, everybody's blaming Triple H for this creative fumble. Doesn't sound like Triple H had much of a say here. Strong push by The Rock, backed by TKO executives. The Rock is on the board of directors. This is above Triple H's role in the company, and this is certainly above Triple H's pay grade in the company. The report stated, this is where I say it gets slimy. The report stated, some sources believe it was done by Johnson to save WrestleMania after CM Punk and his injury, after Brock Lesnar and his creative plans were removed for very different reasons, were taken off the board from the biggest weekend of the year. CM Punk tore his tricep. Brock Lesnar was not really named, but allegedly named in the court documents filed by Janelle Grant in the Vince McMahon sex trafficking allegation report. He was supposed to wrestle Gunther one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship in Philadelphia at WrestleMania. It was stated that Johnson wanted to save WrestleMania. Save WrestleMania from what? What are we saving WrestleMania from? That doesn't sit well with me, man. It doesn't. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but man, oh man, I've always been for WrestleMania being the show in which you have to earn your way on. Save WrestleMania from what? From who? From Vince? Vince ain't there anymore. You mean to tell me you want to save WrestleMania because Punk and Brock Lesnar went down for very different reasons? Don't you have one of the greatest rosters that this company has ever assembled right now? When I hear Rock wants to save WrestleMania, I read it and I interpret it as, well, we don't trust our roster enough to go out there and give us the WrestleMania that we think needs to happen. The Rock, without basically saying anything, took a shit all over the current WWE roster. What needs to be saved? I don't understand this narrative that people think we need to save WrestleMania. We got to pivot to this. We got to pivot. What do you need to pivot to? What? Cody and Roman was big enough to main event the show and have it be the most successful WrestleMania of all time. It was going to be the most successful WrestleMania of all time without The Rock being included, shattering records, breaking records. It's going to be the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time. This narrative from these fucking feeble-minded buffoons in the community. Oh, it's about money. What money? What money? They made their money. The show is sold out. People are coming from fucking 120 different countries to fly into Philadelphia to watch this show. What money? It's not about making money. WWE is going to make more money than any other WrestleMania before this without The Rock being included. I don't get why people, it's about the money. No, it ain't. It's about The Rock's fucking ego. That's what it's about. Save WrestleMania. Please explain to me why we need to pivot to Roman and Rock when we can do Cody, Roman, we could do Rollins and McIntyre or Rollins, Gunther. I mean, is that not good enough for WrestleMania, Dwayne? No, it can't be WrestleMania without fucking Dwayne Johnson being in the main event. That's the one line that really pissed me off more than save WrestleMania? Fuck out of here. Other sources think Rock pushed for it, given his massive $30 million stock payday, and the stock may have been contingent on him hitting certain milestones. Oh, yeah. So listen, everybody's saying it's about Triple H. Triple H fumbled the creative on this. I'm sure Triple H had jack shit to do with this fucking decision. Rock wants to do it at Mania because he wants to save WrestleMania. And now it's contingent on his $30 million stock payday. The stock has flatlined. The stock has remained at whatever it closed at this week with the Vince McMahon allegations. They took a big dip from $97 a share. What are they at? $82, $83 a share? So clearly this was done because The Rock has $30 million in stock, right? They paid him $30 million in stock and they gave him a seat on the board. The more the stock is worth, the more money Rock is going to make. So please tell me where this has to do with Triple H or Cody willingly gave The Rock his main event because Cody's a nice guy. No, The Rock is a selfish bitch. That's what this boils down to. I don't really give a shit what The Rock wants to claim. Oh, this is the reason why we need to do it. This is the reason why we need to do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. No, The Rock is selfish. It all goes back to the age-old fucking narrative. WWE is all about business and fuck the fans. Meanwhile, Triple H has been building this story with Cody for 2 years now. First of all, last year, I was one that allegedly said, hey, man, I think Cody needs a little adversity. We could do the match next year at WrestleMania again. That's what they were building towards. That's what I wanted. Then they fucked Cody Rhodes up big time, man. They made you think, looking back at it, that Cody should have won last year because of how poorly he's been booked. I did not expect it to be as bad as it was all through 2023, but here we are. Vince McMahon made the decision to end that match the way that it did. Then the next night, he gets put into a feud with no explanation against Brock Lesnar. Who made that decision? 4 months with Brock Lesnar. He beats Brock Lesnar. It goes nowhere. He's feuding with Dominic and the Judgment Day. He goes into War Games with Judgment Day, feuds with Shinsuke Nakamura, and then that's Cody Rhodes' entire 2023. Now you want to take this away from him again and do what exactly with him on Monday night? You mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes has been booked like a superstar in WWE since coming over from AEW? I don't think so. I think Cody Rhodes has been treated like a piece of shit. Sounds like and looks like Cody Rhodes is being punished for starting that company 5 years ago. Or maybe Triple H didn't have it sit too well with him when Cody blasted that throne with the sledgehammer. Remember that? I don't know, man. Cody seems to be blackballed. The 2 years that we've been watching this occur, blackballed in WWE. I don't know. So 30 million in stock payday. It's been contingent on him hitting certain milestones. Yeah, great. Sure thing. Sources noted Rock felt wrestling Reigns was a bigger match for the company than Cody Rhodes. Oh, yeah, that's right. What, The Rock is the end-all be-all here now, huh? Now, fuck the creative team and fuck what we've been given on television. It's what Rock wants. Great job there, bro. Great job. Now we know who really is running the company. Conveniently, he took Vince McMahon's seat on the board of directors. What's the difference? This may have happened regardless of the other Mania's plans changing as Rock was back in the game and the most important members of the company and management were going to acquiesce to Dwayne Johnson's ideas. Yeah, man, fuck what's going on in the day-to-day. We got Paul Levesque running. It don't matter, man. Dwayne, whatever you want to do, whatever you say goes, bro. Go ahead. Ridiculous. The company felt with The Rock being on the board of directors, his standing in Hollywood, and the backing of Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, and others, Rock vs. Reigns would serve as a greater mainstream attraction while also helping push positive momentum in the company at a time where the Vince McMahon allegations have dominated the news headlines. Great. So Dwayne is a selfish bitch, and Cody has to now suffer because Vince McMahon is a fucking rapist and a sex trafficker, and Cody's got to suffer because of that now. I mean, what do you think Cody Rhodes is thinking and feeling this morning? I said it last night on my SmackDown post show. I would not be surprised. It was one of the first things I mentioned. I would not be surprised if WWE made this decision to pivot away from the Vince McMahon headlines because all anybody is talking about is Vince McMahon and his sexual escapades. Now, you look at it, no one's talking about WrestleMania. No one's talking about what could be. Punk is injured. Rollins is questionable. Brock Lesnar's off the card. Now they pivot to Roman and Rock because it's the biggest match that we can do in all of WWE. And now no one's talking about Vince. Quite coincidental there, Dwayne, huh? Again, a political move that has adverse effects on Mr. Cody Rhodes. Great. A source did make the comparison to when Rock tried to take over the overall creative for the DC film franchise, but that was nixed after he went over the heads of executives to their superiors to get his ideas approved and make Black Adam a new franchise after one film. Kind of sounds familiar, right? Isn't Triple H running the fucking show there? Sounds about right. I'm going to need you guys to stop blaming Paul Levesque here. This is above his fucking role and pay grade in the company. This is exactly the same thing that he did with the DC film franchise. He went over Triple H's head, who right now is the lead creative in the company, to go speak to Ari, to go speak to Nick Khan, and get everything changed because who's going to tell Dwayne no? It's exactly the same thing. Now, he lost that battle when Warner Brothers Discovery gave the power to James Gunn and Peter Safran instead. I don't see that happening here. WWE's not going to take that power away from Dwayne Johnson, and I think, unfortunately, we are stuck with what we got on Friday night. PW Insider was told Rock replacing Rhodes wasn't done to target him or politic Rhodes out of the match with malice, but felt he was the better person to make money now and respect his new position with the company's parent company. No, it was done to target Cody Rhodes. Absolutely done. None of these people gave a single solitary shit about Cody Rhodes when making this decision. That is bullshit. They, without a fucking hesitation in their breath, thought Cody Rhodes, or gave this a second thought in regards to Cody Rhodes. They didn't give a fuck. You go back and watch that segment on Friday night when Rock hugged Cody. There was a fucking fake-ass smile on Cody Rhodes, and then when they separated and Cody was about to leave, this man looked like he was about to fucking have his heart drop on the fucking ring canvas. This guy was about to bawl out in tears right there on camera, and then he quickly leaves the ring. This was a strategic move to give Johnson more political power overall. It wasn't done to politic Rhodes out of the main event, though. But here, Mike Johnson's saying it's a strategic move to give Johnson more political power. Which is it? Which is it? Now, we didn't do it to politic Cody Rhodes out of the main event, but we got to give Dwayne Johnson more political power. Overall, and to show Endeavor's faith in his involvement, and that even Paul Levesque, who has done an admirable job as the chief creative officer, would lose that power struggle with Johnson at this point. Again, it's not anything to do with Paul Levesque. PW Insider confirmed former senior vice president of development at Johnson's $7 Productions. This is where it gets extra slimy. I want you guys to think about what the ramifications of this could be. Senior Vice President of Development at Johnson's $7 Productions, Brian Gerwitz, will be in the mix. As usual, he's always involved in whatever The Rock is doing or whenever The Rock is doing something with WWE, as he helps with The Rock's creative process, considering his history as a former head of WWE creative for several years. What does that mean? You mean to tell me that Rock and Roman is not going to be creatively forwarded with the current and well-admired writing team that we have in WWE right now? Triple H's team has nothing to do with Roman and Rock, which, by the way, is not officially announced. That's set to be announced on Thursday at the WrestleMania kickoff press conference in Las Vegas, reportedly. You mean to tell me that the biggest match in WWE right now, maybe one of the biggest matches, if not the biggest match in WWE history, is going on in the main event of WrestleMania 40, Night 2, and the current writing team has nothing to do with it? It's all The Rock's team, led by Brian Gerwitz. That's amazing. Are we setting up potentially to remove Triple H from the chief creative officer position? Have we already found his replacement here in Brian Gerwitz? That sounds extra fucking slimy here, folks. If I'm Triple H, I'm sleeping with one eye open and I'm looking behind my back every chance I got. That does not sit well with me if I'm Paul Levesque at all. I'm going to need you guys to get on board here and start to feel bad for Triple H. A lot of Triple H hate narrative out there in the community, man. Listen, he's not fucking perfect. He's not. He's had a couple of stinkers. The Royal Rumble was fucking garbage. I'll give you that. I'm not afraid to call out bad creative no matter who books it, Tony Khan or Paul Levesque. But the man does not deserve half of the shit that he's been given this week. It has nothing to do with the Vince McMahon allegations. Nothing. I don't know why you ask him questions that he physically cannot answer at these press conferences. I don't. And man, he gets full reign of creative. He gets knighted by Ari Emanuel, only to now, with the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time, get pushed to the side because Dwayne Johnson wants his own lead writer in Brian Gerwitz, which people are looking at as a plan B if Endeavor ever needs to pivot WWE's direction creatively under Triple H and go with a rocked base creative team down the line. That doesn't sound fishy to you? This fucking reeks. Reeks. I don't like what I'm hearing here at all. They blackballed Cody Rhodes. The Rock wants to put on this nice guy persona. Man, oh man, he is a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing if I ever read or seen one. This is bad. He wants to put on this nice guy persona. Everybody loves The Rock. Meanwhile, he's coming off like the biggest, most selfish piece of shit, not named Vince McMahon. What a terrible, terrible move. How WWE fumbled the ball on the easiest creative decision since Bryan Danielson in 2014. They eventually got that one right, but it was thanks to the fucking fans who pushed for it. Otherwise, WWE would have never changed, and we would have gotten a main event of WrestleMania 30 with Randy Orton and Batista. Because Vince McMahon wanted that one. Is WWE going to change course here? I don't even know if it's a possibility to rectify this shit. They made Cody Rhodes seem like a fucking idiot out there. Yeah, I won the Royal Rumble. Here's my main event for the title that I just said I want because my father won it and had it taken away from him. Now, here's my main event spot. I'm coming for Roman, but not at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, he said it needs to happen at WrestleMania in several interviews. Pointed to Roman at the end of the Rumble, said he wanted Roman at the press conference after the Royal Rumble. Said last night he's coming for Roman, but not at WrestleMania. When are you doing it? By the time we get to wherever you want to do it, no one's going to fucking care. At all. You want to know when this all came about? Because after all that I just mentioned, this was in the plans. Cody and Roman was the plan coming out of Monday Night Raw. Going into SmackDown, things changed as of only a couple of days ago. Meltzer wrote this for The Observer. Dwayne pushed super hard for it. Read last week's issue and then this week's of The Observer. The card changed when Punk and Brock were out and all the dominoes fell. Dwayne already wanted it, and they felt they needed it now as well. Felt this was better to change the news flow away from Vince. Oh yeah, but it wasn't political in regards to Cody Rhodes. Sure thing. Cody was the plan. Dwayne was going to face him later. Maybe next year's Mania, maybe Saudi. Shit happens with Vince and Punk. The Vince thing ends up worse than they thought, and they changed the plan. I literally didn't know until yesterday that it could change, and then I was told it's under lock. But 100%, it was Punk versus Seth and Cody versus Roman until Punk got hurt. Punk getting hurt did not pivot WWE to change what they had planned to Rock and Roman. CM Punk's injury has nothing to do with it. Brock Lesnar's injury has nothing to do with it. Those two excuses are nothing more than cover-ups. They are cover-ups. Do not believe anybody. Do not believe a news article, a dirt sheet, a journalist. Do not believe anybody when they tell you that CM Punk's injury made WWE pivot. Brock Lesnar being canceled and being taken off WrestleMania made WWE pivot. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. CM Punk and Brock Lesnar aren't the end-all be-all for this fucking roster. It is very easy to book a WrestleMania a WrestleMania with the rest of the fucking roster. You got there. You don't need Roman and Rock this year at WrestleMania. The one priority should have been Cody finishing his story, getting the belt off of Roman, because the belt on Roman has negative impact on the rest of the show. Enough is enough. Priority should have been take the title off Roman, get it on Cody, and then we build Roman and Rock at Mania 41 when the title doesn't need to be on the line. All you need to do is have the match and who the real tribal chief is. Meanwhile, you get the title on who it's supposed to be on, and he leads the show the way it's supposed to be led. Full-time, workhorse, Babyface, the next John Cena. Cody is the world champion. Now, meanwhile, they fucked all that up. Left this man heartbroken on Friday night because of excuses that, we needed to pivot away from Punk and pivot away from Brock. No, you want to take the headlines away from Vince. The Rock is selfish about his $30 million in stocks, so he wants to make more money. He feels like he's the bigger star. He feels like he needs to save WrestleMania. No, it's all about Dwayne, and that's all I'm hearing. Has nothing to do with pivoting and nothing to do with Cody. Cody wasn't even a thought bubble in this process. The priority should have been take the title off Roman. Now, there is a possible reason, I talked about this last night, there is a possible reason why WWE may have done this. I'm thinking creatively. I'm not even thinking about the fucking political bullshit that we're reading today. WWE realized that with Punk out and Rollins questionable, who may need surgery. He may not need surgery, but I would elect him to get surgery. Lesnar not being there. That Monday Night Raw is going to be weak at the top of the card with Lesnar out, Punk out, Rollins out, Cody being shifted over to Roman on SmackDown. If he won the title at WrestleMania, I'm thinking about creatively. If Cody went to SmackDown, that would leave a huge void over on Monday Night Raw. How much of that played into the factor of this? Probably not, but I'm thinking like a fucking creative mind, not a political, selfish piece of shit here. If Cody went to SmackDown, Monday Night Raw is very light at the top with everything that's going on there. That's something that WWE can honestly rectify as well with a trade or a draft or something along those lines. Replenish from NXT. I don't know. But do you really want Roman Reigns to hold the championship going into the summer of 24? I don't know how that's benefiting anybody. WWE fucked the easiest creative decision that they possibly had staring them in the face. So instead of doing something where we get what we need to have play out, WWE now gives us Cody looking like a fucking cuck, Rock and Roman, which is now predictable because nobody expects Rock to beat Roman, and he's probably going to be gassed after 5 minutes. Probably going to end up being one of the most boring main events that you'll see in over a decade. So Roman's going to beat Rock. Seth Rollins is dropping the title to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes becomes the best number 2 in the business. Great. He doesn't finish his story. He wins the consolation title, the title that Roman basically buried for 90 seconds on SmackDown last night. It's the loser's bracket title, he said. Great. Now, you want to hold a championship being claimed by someone, he's the workhorse champion, he said to Seth Rollins. You're the workhorse champion. How can you be the workhorse when you're limping wearing your wife's clothing? I mean, that's the title Cody wants? Ridiculous. They did everything politically driven. Everything was politically driven here. Everything. From Vince to The Rock being selfish to his stock payout. Everything else is an excuse. Punk being injured, it's an excuse. That's what they want you to think. We needed to make a different change here because Punk is out. Nothing here hinges on CM Punk being injured. He's one man. One man. Save WrestleMania. You know what I read? I said this before. Saving WrestleMania. You don't trust the rest of your fucking roster? Yeah, some leader Rock is, huh? Sure thing. This ended up being the most disliked YouTube video ever. On social media, there is some happiness over the change, mostly unhappy. The overall sentiment seems to be negative. As of this writing, the full segment posted on WWE's YouTube has over 300,000 dislikes. This makes it the most disliked WWE video ever. For someone who's praised in a lot of different circles as being the nicest guy ever, The Rock. Man, oh man, has he made himself public enemy number 1. Dave Meltzer stated on the Observer Wrestling boards that this was a late decision when Cody won the Rumble. The plan was for him to wrestle Roman Reigns at Mania, but Brock Lesnar being pulled from creative plans and CM Punk's injury caused a domino effect. That's what they want you to think. Meltzer keeps pushing that narrative. It's bullshit. Over 300,000 dislikes. The most disliked video in WWE YouTube history. That is a huge sample of the unhappiness here. Huge. That just doesn't span Twitter, man. That's 300. That's 3 different Lincoln Financial Fields. More than that. You mean to tell me that this is the right decision? I don't think so. And 300,000 people are telling you that this shit sucks. When people tell you that, oh, it's a pivot away from, the Punk injury and the Brock bullshit. Stop it, kill it, dead it right there when you see it. It's nothing to do with Punk and nothing to do with Lesnar. Nothing. WWE could have given you a WrestleMania that would have been a great WrestleMania with The Rock or without The Rock. It doesn't matter. The Rock doesn't need to be there this year. No, they're doing it now for their own selfish reasons. They're doing it now because of political reasons. Cody got fucked. I don't know how Cody's feeling this morning. I don't know how Paul Levesque is feeling this morning. Cody, he's an innocent bystander in this. You could sit there and claim that Cody's a mid-carder, Cody's this, Cody's that. You can claim that you want Paul Levesque canceled, he's this and that, get him out. And nothing to do with Paul Levesque. Nothing. Everything I read to you is basically Rock making the decision with the backing of TKO executives. He went over the man who writes this show weekly, twice a week, who's been building these stories for WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock is some fucking secret covert up here for Vince McMahon to fucking sabotage WrestleMania. Oh, I don't want my son-in-law booking WrestleMania. Here we go, pal. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Unbelievable, man. This, as soon as I read it, it just felt slimy. Absolutely slimy. The worst of the worst here. When we all thought WWE was going to turn that corner and we were going to get the TV that we all deserved after fucking years of bullshit, here we are and we're getting the same thing happening again. It's never what is right. It's always what someone else in a higher position wants. It's never about what the fans want. The fans clearly don't want Dwayne. And WWE is now running the risk of burying Rollins, making Cody look like a loser, and sabotaging their biggest WrestleMania of all time with one single move that they executed on Friday night. They're going to have a huge and damning wake-up call in Philadelphia when Rock gets out there with that crowd, which is the smarkiest crowd in the entire calendar year. Rock is going to have a very difficult time wondering, well, why are they booing me? I thought everybody loved me. Because you're not the real people's champion anymore, bro. Not at 50 years old. You're on the board of directors. You have a much bigger role in the company that doesn't need you to wrestle this year. If you wanted to do it next year where the story played out right, then that's a different story. Now you're actively taking something away from someone that's been built up for the last 2 years and basically telling him to fuck off because he's not you. That's bullshit. I don't stand for that. I will never stand for that. We went through this same thing with Bryan Danielson. We're going to go through it again with Cody Rhodes. I don't know if our influence is going to get something to have this get changed or something. I don't know. I don't think so. But WWE has basically opened up Pandora's box here. If they are going to go into WrestleMania thinking that this is going to be the match everybody wants and it's going to be one huge resounding success. No. WWE now has risked sabotaging their own WrestleMania main event because of one stupid decision. I can't wait to see this blow up in their face. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please let me know what you think down below. This is a major story. I was thinking about doing the Vince McMahon stuff. I got a ton of Vince McMahon news. We'll save that for tomorrow. You're going to get another extra tomorrow on all the Vince McMahon stuff that happened on Friday. We got more news. We got anonymous quotes. We got it all. So make sure you guys keep an eye and an ear on the channel, man. I needed to get this out because this is what everybody's talking about right now. Make sure you guys go and keep an eye on everything that we're doing right here on Off the Script. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. We are 200 subscribers away from 153,000 subscribers. Thank you for the tremendous support. We had 6,800 people live last night for the SmackDown post show. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel, and please hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes today on OTS. Guys, enjoy your Saturdays. I'll be here with more breaking news when it happens on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.